Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't think Adele can hear us. I don't think our mic's working.
Oh no. Is your
And I
mic
think,
not working?
yeah, she's on a mobile phone, and I don't know what's going on, but we can't hear her. It's really weird. And also,
Okay, that's
the camera's gone
I
funny. It's stretched her out. It's really weird. That's why she's looking really wide.
yeah, I know. She kind of looks yeah, double her normal
Yeah,
size.
yeah, she's looking like a narrow picture. It's stretched it out. It's weird. Um, she says it's a new phone she's using, but it's weird.
Well, I
And
had the option to allow the mic when I came on. Did you not
yeah,
have that, Adele? Obviously not.
yeah, I think she's had that and skipped it or something.
Yeah. It's um it's strange, isn't it? Oh, she's
It really
gone.
is.
Maybe her reception's not great where she is because she's
Yeah.
away.
How did you come in? Did you come in using the details in the Facebook Messenger?
I did,
Ah, so
yes.
you can see all the fancy little things you can now do on here. Then, cool.
Yeah,
Is that coming
I've
through them
done it on
now?
my PC though. I don't know if it would have worked on the phone. I haven't risked
Yeah,
my
quite-
phone because it looks like
yeah.
it's going in and out of reception. So,
It does work on most phones, but I was going to take you through all the little bits and bobs you can do, but we don't want to do that live because we're live right now. Um,
oh right, okay,
so maybe next week you can get in early and I will talk you through it all. But yeah,
okay. But
hang on
everything's
a minute.
working okay at the moment. Everyone can hear, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what I'm gonna do? Are we still live on our platform on our
yeah, you're live on. I think you're live on yours. Let me just double check and make sure.
brilliant? Because I'm
Um,
gonna log into YouTube from here so I
let me
can
have a
check
look.
any comments.
That's what I'm checking now for you to make sure. Yeah, you are live on YouTube as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
I was chatting in the messenger and it was like 7 minutes to the we go live, and Adele was like, "Oh well, Kim's studying and I'm on holiday and I don't know," and I was like, "We've got 7 minutes till we go live." Do you? I was like, "Wow, bit
Yeah,
unorganized."
yeah, I've literally things run over a bit with my day, but I've just got in. And I was like, oh gosh, yeah, it's nearly 9 o'clock, and yeah, I'm here. I think some of the other girls maybe joined, and I think that's Adele
That
who's
is it.
joined again there.
Yeah, we've got Adele. Hopefully her mic will work, but
No, it doesn't
no,
seem to be
she's
working.
no.
Ah, Adele.
Oh,
Never mind. Well, I'll just sort of like make a start here myself. And if she can come on afterwards, great.
yeah.
If any of the other girls
I
do
think
turn up, that's
Adele can hear us,
fantastic.
but we can't hear her. But there'll be a way of going into the browser on our phone and approving the mic. Because when you first come in, it does ask you to give permission for that. Obviously, that's not happened. I don't know if Adele, do you want to try clearing the settings on your phone, like the browser settings? And then when you come back in, it'll ask you to approve the mic, and that might work. I think she's frozen now as well. She's got really
I
bad
think
internet.
she has. I know she's not having the best of luck there.
And she's on
Oh,
holiday as well, so.
I tell you what, modern technology is not really our strong point between us, to be honest.
I'll
But
soon train
this
you up, don't worry.
Okay, well, no problem. I'll just make a start. So, as most of you know, my name's Lucia from Public Child Protection Wales. I'm just going to have like a little chat about like what's been going on with our campaign. Most of you know about our campaign, against the RSC. Um, I'm just going to sort of like say a little bit about like what has actually been going on in some of the schools in Wales. So, because obviously we talk to parents all the time, and, parents come to us with, what's it called? Feedback on what's been taught in the lessons. I've even had, obviously, I'm not going to speak about anybody's specific names. But just like to reiterate, like the seriousness of this RSE coming into the schools. I've had, me personally, I've had a couple of chats with people, and you know, it's really not good. I've had one individual whose child is he has special needs, special development needs, her 8-year-old son, and he was actually put into one of these lessons without the parent consenting to it. And it actually did affect this poor child. He was young boy, and he had always had a girlfriend, but all very innocent. And all of a sudden, he had one of these lessons, and it actually did make him feel funny about having a girlfriend. And when the mother, you know, she was quite distressed with what her child has been learning. When she actually confronted the school apologized, because the school should have sent out a letter allowing the parents to withdraw if they wanted to. Because at the moment, even though they are going to make this compulsory for every child, at the moment, some schools are still allowing that withdrawal if you want to have it withdrawn, have your child withdrawn from the lessons. And this mother was very distressed. She spoke to the school. The school did apologise, because they should have sent a letter previous, but hadn't. But now it's a case of that child has learned things that he shouldn't have learned, because he wasn't developmentally ready to learn the information that the school had given him. So I'm just also going to say as well, we've been doing, like, the girls in PCP, they know exactly, you know, they have a lot of knowledge with safeguarding, etc. Myself, I'm still quite new to the whole thing, so I've done a couple of courses myself, internet courses with regards to safeguarding, and in fact some of these courses are actually what teachers do. So part of that is saying, you know, when we're talking about safeguarding children, one of the things that that's very important is that children are not shown things that are inappropriate, because that is actually child abuse. So this actually adds to our argument of why we do not want the RSE in Wales, well, why it should not be in any schools throughout the world, because as we know, the content is to all children, I would say, but certainly to certain groups of children, it's not actually appropriate, and it is actually a form of abuse when you show children inappropriate sexual content. So I know all our supporters actually agree with that, but it's actually getting the masses to actually realize that as well. So I'm just literally going to check on here a second. Oops, Daisy. Oh, no, I don't want that. I'm just going to check if anybody is watching on YouTube. So, really bad at it. So yeah, if you're watching, I can only see there's 6 people watching though. If you're watching, pop a hi, and feel free to ask any questions as well. If you have any questions regarding what's going on. I've got Belinda on, just popped in to thank you all for doing what you're doing. Thank you so much, Belinda. Very much appreciate your support. I've got to say, really, the more we've been doing this, like we started back in July 2000. Well, it was July. We all got to know each other in July, but we didn't start this properly until sort of August. It was in August we started, and obviously since starting, you know, our supporters, it's really, really sort of snowballed, and we're getting more and more people knowing about this. So we're so grateful, because without all your support, and without all, you know, you all sort of, getting involved and coming to our protests, etc., we wouldn't be able to do this, because it can be very, very, what I'm trying to think of the word. It can be quite horrible sometimes, because we do get backlash, and people are not believing what we're saying, because it's not in the mainstream media, and it's not being told on the BBC and and the ITV News about like how damaging this is going to be. And obviously there's so many people that are saying that it's going to be a good thing, and it's all to do with getting children to safeguard themselves, and it's all to do with inclusion, and anything that's said against it is seen as being almost like against people learning about different types of relationship. We get all that, and without the people, our supporters that have actually like taken the time to look into this themselves, without you, we wouldn't be here, because we couldn't carry on without the tremendous support we've got. And I'm really, really grateful for like so many people who were just willing to just look into things themselves. We've had a lot of backlash, and people who give us backlash, they won't even look on our website to see what we're talking about, because all they can see is, well, the guidance has come from the WHO, the guidance have come from United Nations. So they believe that those people are educated enough to know what is best for the children. UNESCO is actually the worldwide organization that is in charge of the education of children. So when we're actually up against these huge organizations, it can be very, very difficult to to carry on and to fight it. But with all the supporters we've had, and everybody sort of really mucking in, we've had some fantastic supporters. I've got to mention a couple of names here. Lisa Pritchard, for example, her and her brilliant daughter Rian, who did a fantastic fundraising sponsored walk. And they got a lot of support, awareness, and money for our cause, which was absolutely amazing. Rian is a fantastic young girl. She's 20, and this girl was born with, well, she almost didn't survive. Her twin brother had died before birth, and she's done absolutely amazing. And to think that she walked all that way as well, like this child couldn't walk when she was younger. So when we've got like supporters like that, it really, really does keep us carrying on. It really does. It's absolutely amazing. So anyway, I've digressed, as I always do. So I'm just going to go back to some of the people who have spoken about these lessons that are already in, that have come into Wales. Because I know my school, for example, not my school, my daughter's school, they started this. Funny enough, it was only about 3 or 4 weeks before the end of term. I don't know why they wanted to sort of push it in so quickly, but they did. I had the option to withdraw, which I did. I'm not saying that the lessons, because she was in the year 6, so I don't know if the lessons were going to be that inappropriate, but my daughter was happy for me to withdraw because she was uncomfortable about speaking about the likes of puberty and how babies are made in the classroom. She was uncomfortable with that anyway. She knows what she needs to know from me. So I withdrew her. So it was good that I had the option to withdraw, but we know that we're not going to have that option for much longer. So I just want to say as well about, one of the ladies on our Facebook page actually said that her son was in one of these lessons and he felt uncomfortable, and he said so to his teacher, and the teacher actually was going to give him detention for not being in, for being awkward, if you like. Now, the weird thing is they package this education, this RSE, this sex education, as being something that they are teaching children to consent. So, when they're teaching children consent is to say yes or no. Whereas we're having situations now wherein a child actually physically says, no, I don't want to listen to this. They're actually getting punishment, if you like, from the teacher. So straight away, that is giving a wrong message to any child, because they say, well, they've got to listen to what they're told to listen to. even if they deem it inappropriate themselves. So, you know, we can see already there's so many contradictions within this education, so many contradictions. And what I'm always seeing every single time is when it is being oh god, when it's being criticized, or when people are being criticized, it's only the parents and the educators who are erring, or people who are belonging to a faith. It's only the people that are erring towards the conservative side of things. They seem to be the only ones that are getting slammed in this, whereas where you've got, like, you know, parents that are far towards like the liberal side, they seem to be favored within this education. And you know, when it comes, hang on, I've got a message here, 2 seconds. I think I'm hearing your notifications dinging and donging. I don't think I've got any notifications here, Jason. Can everybody else hear? Oh, hang on, I know what it is. It's probably my phone. I couldn't hear it. Is that better now, Jason? I don't want you to be hearing my phone charger going off all the time. Yeah, let me know, Jason, if that is better. Okay. I've just got some messages here. Lisa Rogers. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? Heather, how are you doing? Yeah, Ria really is a star. Beautiful, lovely, lovely girl. I seen her today, actually. She really is a sweetheart. And have I got anybody else on? No one else. Yeah, pop a hi to me, everybody, whoever's on. I think someone's trying to get onto my... Keep being told my mic not allowed. Okay. Ah, that's Adele. Adele is trying to get on, bless her. Adele is actually away this weekend. But she cannot get on. She's trying to get on, but her mic's not on. So I'm just going to carry on until she is able to. There's nothing I can do here as far as I can see. Yeah, she's trying to get on her telephone, but we've got a new system today, ladies and gents, so it's causing a few issues for Adele to get on, unfortunately. I wish there was something I could do from here. I don't think there was. Anyway, I can't remember what I was saying then. It'll come back. It will come back. I've got a bit of a short-term memory, especially on the weekends. Hang on, getting a message, 2 seconds. I can't keep trying. Okay, Adele, don't worry about coming on. Adele's having issues here, so as much as... Yeah, Adele she'll be on back next week. She always does come on a Sunday normally. So no worries about that, Adele. That's okay. I'm just really trying to think of what I was just actually speaking about then, because my brain has literally just stopped. Where are we? He couldn't prove it's any sign. Right, okay. So never mind. That's okay. No worries, Adele. Don't worry. It's okay. So anyway, I was just saying, I can't remember what I was just saying, so I'm just going to hop on to my next thing that I was going to speak about. And that was just, you know, just generally the RSC that we're, you know, the RSC where it's based, you know, that it's based on a science from Alfred Kinsey, which a lot of you do know, and, you know, saying about children being sexual from birth, which is why they need to know about this information as soon as possible. And, you know, supporters of the RSC think that's absolute rubbish. They don't believe that it comes from that aspect, but it's clearly said in the WHO document, and it's clearly said also in the revised UNESCO document as well, which is it just states, from 9 to 12, they want to teach children that humans are born with the ability to enjoy sexuality. And as we know, sexuality is not for children. In fact, it's something that we should be protecting children from as much as possible. I actually, like my boys in secondary school, and I looked at the notes there on the website, and one of the resources that they need to look at is actually Stonewall, which is the big LGBTQ, one of the big LGBTQ platform. Now, as much as like I have like friends who are gay, I've got nothing against people who have decided to sort of go in a relationship with the same sex. I've got nothing against that at all. However, Stonewall, it really, all you've got to do is just look at the resources now. I know there's a big thing now about banning conversion therapy. Now, this is a huge worry for us because we did see it in the week about the conversion, banning the conversion therapy. It's a massive thing for us, a big no-no, because conversion therapy is normally about converting or helping non-offending paedophiles get away from that bad thought process. Now, if they are banning that conversion therapy, that's a bad thing altogether for children, for anybody, So, they try and sort of like package it that they're banning conversion therapy because they don't want people to think that if they are of a different sexuality, they should be converted. But this actually can be a bit more sinister because it's actually stopping conversion therapy for people that actually do really need it. So, we're on a very slippery slope at the minute with what's going on. Things are happening fast, things are happening fast. And we need to, we really all need to wake up to this and all rise together. Only this week, Adele had actually shared something on Facebook that she's seen on Twitter, and it was a journalist, and she's actually put a post, and thank God, right? This woman put this post up saying that we need to introduce entry-level pornography for children. Now, thankfully, a lot of people did jump on that post and really slate her. What the hell are you on about? Pornography for children? No. So many people were really, really upset by that comment. And she took the tweet down. She took it down because she obviously was getting a lot of backlash for that comment. Thank God there's still enough people in this world that believes that should never be the case. Pornography is not for children, and that, thank God, a lot of people do think that. She then she deleted the tweet and then put another tweet saying, well, I've deleted the tweet, something to that effect. I've deleted the tweet, so why is everybody sharing the screenshots? Tried to sort of make out that she meant 14 and 15-year-olds, not actual, sort of children. So, she was kind of trying to sort of backlash. But a lot of people had seen that tweet already, the original tweet, and they were quite upset with the fact that she was discussing or sort of coming up with this thing that there should be entry-level porn for children. This is what is going on now, see? This woke community, which is getting bigger and bigger, they seem to sort of think it's just really gone nuts. It's gone just crazy. Like back in my day, it wouldn't have even no one would have even mentioned pornography and children in the same sentence. It really should not have been something that should have been out there on social media. Yeah, I agree that these days social media, everybody has a voice and everybody's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram talking. But like, to be able to have the confidence to actually get out and say something like that, it just goes to show how crazy this is going now, like how thick and fast things are progressing in the wrong way. Excuse me a minute. I think I've got some messages here. I've got going to be. I've been trying. Okay, sorry. I've just got some messages there.
It's okay. That's just me and Adele trying to figure out how to get her on, but. She's struggling. She's on holiday and she's at her friends, and she's neglecting her friends on here. So,
that's okay.
Her friends, so.
That's
We'll
all right.
We'll get her on next week.
Then it was a little bit confused.
Yeah, she's trying to use a mobile phone as well. Being on here for the first time using a mobile phone is confusing as well. So we'll get her on next week, shall we?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I could see you're both having a chat. You're both on Wake Up UK thing there, so I was getting a bit confused if you were talking to me or.
I'll tell you what we can do. I'll tell you what we can do if you want. If you want to invite people to join you in here, if you look at the bottom of the screen, Lucia, there's a circle at the bottom with like a person in it and a plus symbol, and it says invite guests. If you put the mouse over it, can you see that?
I've got the plus sign. Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's the one beside that with a person and a plus sign. It's the fourth icon along at the bottom. You see, you've got the circle icons at the bottom of your screen.
I've got it. Yeah.
If you click on there, that will give you the link, which you can paste into YouTube, and people can click on that to join you if they've got any questions they want to come on and chat to you about.
Okay, cool. I will do that then. I'll copy.
I would do it, but I can't post on your live chat on YouTube because I've not got a blue spanner, I don't think.
Okay. I can log on to YouTube with my own personal account and then just put that in the comments. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, put it in the side chat and then people will see that, and then you can pin it to the top.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I can see your. I'm just going to pause my video on here.
Yeah. If you post it on the right,
pin it to the top, is it?
Yeah. Post it into a comment on the right-hand side in the live chat.
Yeah.
And after you've done that, you can click on the three little dots next to it to pin it to the top, and it will stay there then.
Okay. The three little dots, pin it to the. Oh no, that's just telling me to remove it there.
Oh, there should be an option to pin it. It might take a second to show up.
Okay, no problem. Right, so if anybody does want to join me tonight, jump on and just ask some questions, or even let me know about your experiences with RSE, or anything that you've heard of, that you've spoken to about people, even if you've spoken to your own head, or if you've removed your children from school for this reason. Then yeah, please join me. I've just literally put it in the chat on our YouTube, but it's not letting me pin it to the top. But if anybody does want to join us, then yeah, do so. Are you still there, Jason? No, I think Jason's gone.
Yeah, I'm still here. It should let you pin it now if you right click on if you look on the three dots, there should be a pin option.
Yeah, it's literally just telling me to remove it a minute.
Oh, that's really fun.
I have put it on there. Let me just check.
You might need to refresh the page before it lets you pin it. That's really weird though. Normally you can do it.
I'll refresh the page first then, Jason.
Okay.
Okay. Oh no, I don't want that playing. You're not hearing that dinging anymore, Jason. No.
That all stops now. I kept checking my screen to see who was messaging me. I kept hearing ding, ding, ding. Like, who's trying to message me? And it was yours, I think, because I couldn't find anything to explain why I could hear these little ding dongs.
Yeah, that's right. I'm reading some messages I have here. Yeah, Heather, that's right. I was saying about the boy being threatened with detention, about feeling uncomfortable with the lesson content. Yeah, I was saying that. Then we've got Lisa saying, I'm bi, but wouldn't push it onto kids. That's right. And this is the thing. Do you know what? Jason, I'm sure you agree as well. It's like, you know, like with any type of sexuality, whether you're straight, bi, gay, whatever, we don't go talking to our children, like young children, about it. We want to keep them as innocent as possible for as long as possible. Childhood's a really short time in your whole span of your life. Like childhood is really, really, yeah. It does. You don't stay a child for long. And I remember, like, I was about 9 or 10 when I heard about
I
how
just think we've
children were.
lost sense of age appropriation. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
shouldn't it be about when it's a young child? I mean, I've heard you speak about 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds. They don't need to know about the sexual side. They need to know about the health side and
yeah,
the safety side. You know,
yeah,
to make
yeah,
sure they understand the dangers and uh, things like appropriate, what's not appropriate, and what's not appropriate. You know, to recognise abuse and know what abuse is, to know that they're not. Because one thing that I've heard, and I think I've discussed this before with you, I've heard time and time again people saying they didn't know they were being abused until they found out it wasn't normal,
mm,
because they didn't know that what was happening to them wasn't happening to all their friends. They thought it was normal, you know.
yeah,
And by the time they found out it wasn't normal, it had already been going on.
yeah,
And an intervention at an earlier stage would have made that child aware that what was going on wasn't normal, and they may have told the other parent or a neighbour or a friend or a teacher, so and so did this and I'm not happy with it, and it would have, you know. But I hear people about they just didn't know, they thought it
yeah,
was okay, and that might sound like the weirdest thing to someone who's not been through it,
yeah.
but when you talk to people that have been a victim of abuse, that's what they say, you know. I thought it was
Well,
okay. I thought it was normal behaviour. I
you
was
know,
4 years old and knew no different.
this is the thing, and like there's three reasons why children will not disclose an abuse, and one of the ones is that they didn't realize what was
Well,
happening was wrong.
yeah, I
The
remember that. Do you remember when Oprah Winfrey got a lot of backlash for something she said a while back?
Yeah,
And I think I recognised what she was saying because of my experiences talking to people like yourself and Sandy and Alan. But the general public, I think it went over their head a little bit, and they thought she was saying something that was horrific. She said, if an abuser, I forget the words that she used, but it wasn't the best choice of words. And
no,
don't
I
blame me,
know.
I'm just repeating it. It was something along the lines of, abuser's good, the child won't know it's happening to them.
Yeah,
Something like that. And it was the most horrific thing to hear someone say,
mm,
and she got shot down in flames. She's saying that child abuse is good, and that's not what she meant. I know what she meant. What
yeah,
she meant is that if the abuser is abusing in a certain way, the child won't know that they're being abused, and that's
yeah,
part of how they do this.
yeah,
It's,
yeah. What she meant,
you
like,
know what I mean. You can probably explain it a lot better than
abuser.
me because I'm not great at explaining these things, but you know
No,
what I
no,
mean.
I know exactly what you mean, Jason. It's like an abuser will, they're good manipulators, really.
Yeah,
They're good at wearing that mask to look like they are a good person. They're doing good for that child or doing good for that person, or even, you know, they could even make out that that child is special and that's the reason why this is happening. So what she meant by that is, if they're good at what they do, if they're a good manipulator, if they're a good narcissist, then yeah, they can manipulate a child without the child even knowing that it's wrong. It happens to adults. Adults get manipulated, so a child can easily get manipulated, can easily be groomed. Um, so that's what she did mean, even though her choice of words were a little bit like, whoa, what are you saying? But yeah, that's exactly. And this is, one of the reasons is a child does not know what's happening is wrong. So people actually are supporting the RSC, saying, well, if we're telling children about what it is, then they're going to know it's wrong. But the issue we have with the way of this teaching and going back to the documents and going back to lesson content is, time and time again, it's told that if you want it, if you consent to it as a child, as anybody, then it's okay as long as you consent to it. Now that is actually putting the blame straight onto the child there, and it's saying, well, if they consented, then nothing's wrong. So that child might think that they're special because the manipulator, the abuser, good, but that's right. And it doesn't mean that abuser shouldn't be locked away. But this RSC keeps saying, it just keeps putting the responsibility on the child. A child can't consent. Like, we know that, don't we? It's a child will not consent and cannot consent. So by this education saying that they can is sinister in its sense.
Do you think there's also an issue with people in positions that are...
It's now saying, oh God, I'm getting connection issues.
Oh, I don't know if she's dropped out or not, but she's frozen. Let's give it a second to see if she'll reconnect. Okay, she should reconnect in a second and then we'll get back to speaking.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was about to ask a question,
you.
and as I went to ask the question, you just froze, and then I heard you say
my internet went down.
Ah, right. Okay. That happens sometimes. So what I was going to say to you is, do you think that people in positions such as like teachers, school, head teachers, social services people, do you think they've got a lack of willingness to tell parents that they're wrong? And when you've got a parent who says, "Yeah, we've had our baby, but we're not going to give it a gender. We're going to be non-binary, or whatever the term is, until the child can choose." You know, why does someone not say, "Well, look, you can't do that. The child's got a penis. It's male." You know,
Yeah.
why does someone not say to these parents that have these weird ideas on education that just don't fit in with what is healthy for the child? Why does someone not say to the parent, "Look, you know, what you're doing isn't right for your child. In fact, it's harming your child"? Are people too scared to tell parents that they're doing things wrong? Because there's no handbook of what's right and wrong for a parent, but there are things we can see that have caused issues, and everyone seems too scared to say, "No, you shouldn't be doing that." You know, including teachers. I think they're just, you know, you can say and do anything nowadays, and people are just too scared to tell you opposite. You know,
this is what I was saying earlier, Jason. It's almost like if you're really liberal and like they're so scared to offend the LGBTQ community that they won't even say anything to something which is obviously damaging. Like if a child is not told what sex they are, well, that's and that's not even giving the choice to the child really, because it's the parents sort of like stopping or not giving the child information that is actually factual. They're not telling that child, "Well, yeah, you're a boy." They're saying, they're keeping that from them. And this is what I was saying before. It's almost like the only parents that seem to be getting slammed are the ones that err on the side of being a little bit conservative. You know, like if they want their children to wait until they're married before they enter a sexual relationship, or so be it, they're in an adult loving relationship that is a committed relationship before they even think about being in a sexual relationship. It's almost like they're getting slammed, and suddenly it's like, no, that's against your child's sexual rights. Like, no, you're just teaching your children to have respect for, or like make sure that, you know, they keep themselves for somebody who has respect for them. But it almost seems they're getting slammed, yet the parents who are, you know, completely crazy to the left, no, I don't want my child to know what sex they are until they've decided what sex they are. Or, you know, there was an advert for knitted penises to go into nappies. What is that to do with a child knowing or being in charge of their sexuality? That's a parent who's wants a boy but has got a girl. Like that's very harmful towards the mental health of the
Well, yeah,
child.
you're right. That is a case of the parent putting themselves before the child, which I think is
Ah,
often what we see. And at that point,
absolutely.
somebody should step in and say, look, you know, what you're doing isn't healthy for the child. You know,
Mm.
it's not about whether you or boy. You know, you don't get to decide the child's gender based on what your preference is. You know, and people are too scared to confront people. You know,
They
about
are.
things like this, because you get labelled with something with the word phobic on the end of it. You know, gender phobic, transphobic, whatever phobic it might be. You know.
Yeah.
Also with religion as well. There's certain religious customs that might get in the way of education, and so people are scared to sort of cross that boundary as well sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
because you don't want to offend someone based on their religion, but at the same time, you know, there are religious stroke cultural differences that maybe need a little bit of sort of more attention to make it work for the child, you know, in a mainstream setting, you know.
Yeah. Well, do you know, it's strange, isn't it? It's almost like when the fashion suits us, you know, like for example, right, the Muslim religion. There was a time where, you know, you could not say anything against that otherwise, you know, it was like, oh, that's really bad. You can't say anything against their beliefs. But now what seems to be happening is because there's a big Muslim following that are really against this RSE, they're getting slated left, right, and centre. And it doesn't seem to be, you know, it's almost like, well, you know, if you don't like it, I've even seen people say, if you don't like it, what, you know, this is Britain, you know. And it's like, no, we're meant to be inclusive of everybody, and all of a sudden we're saying, oh well, sod you all.
I think they call it political correctness.
Yeah,
they call it political correctness, don't they? But I think it's gone a bit too far. This political correctness.
Oh.
I mean, in principle, it's the right thing to be correct and not offend people, and to take on board people's culture and religion and values and beliefs. But sometimes people overcompensate for that, I think, you know. And I would say possibly with minority groups of all kinds, whether it be based on race or religion. People are so scared to be accused of being something phobic that they will possibly overcompensate. But I don't think that's a good thing.
It's
how do you find that happy medium, you know?
Do you know, I find it very difficult. It's even with using certain terms. Now, things that were acceptable when I was younger is now, it could be seen as phobic of some type. You know, like we've got to be so careful, like the words that we come out with. It's like, oh gosh, oh, is that going to offend someone? Even if you don't have any you've got no intention of being offensive, you could offend someone just for saying the wrong term, because that's no longer used anymore. I was actually surprised, Jason, when I heard that the Q in LGBTQ actually meant queer or questioning, because queer
Yeah.
used to be, I'm sure queer used to be an insult. And when someone told me that, I thought, oh God, can you say that now? And it's all of a sudden something that was very insulting is now perfectly widely used and perfectly fine. And it goes the opposite way as well, doesn't it? All of a sudden, we could be saying words, maybe one day the word gay might be the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
really.
I'll give you another example. Okay, FGM, female genital mutilation. Now, the people that I speak to online happily call it out as being abuse. Okay, but certain cultures consider it completely culturally normal and fine. Okay, but how do you approach that in a school? Because when you've got children that are being taken overseas in the school holidays, I mean, I'll give you an example. I don't know if anyone here watches EastEnders. They've covered the storyline of that on EastEnders recently.
Oh, okay. I don't watch EastEnders, so.
It's my guilty pleasure. I admit I do watch it. And the
Really?
storyline was there was a lady on there, a young lady, adult, who had been through that. Her mum took her to see a lady when she was a young teenager, and she had FGM performed on her. Okay. They covered the complications that's caused her in her later life, in quite detail. And what happened is her younger sister told her that her mum was taking her shopping and to go and meet these ladies. Well, she knew what was happening to her younger sister. So she spoke out, and social services, police got involved. The girl got taken into care. But if you're a teacher, how do you teach a class about FGM if you've got a family who has a child in that class who doesn't think it's abuse and thinks it's perfectly normal? How do you deal with that? When the parents come down to school and say that's our religious practice, how dare you tell my child that it's abuse? We've got them booked in next week.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Do you know what? It's to me, I see anything to do with messing around with any child's genitals.
I totally agree.
It's abuse in itself, isn't it?
But how do you deal with a family?
Yeah.
Who child you're teaching that doesn't agree with you on that?
That's very difficult in itself. And do you know what I find weird as well? We're talking about like that being abusive, FGM being sort of like a bad thing, and obviously that is what Britain and our education system believes, that it's wrong. Yet we're getting children to talk about, like making it so normal for transgenderism to be the case, and for children, like soon we're going to have children that's going to be able to pop those pills and have hormone blockers, and they'll be discussing having their genitals messed about with in the future because they want to be, the opposite sex, but they don't even tell people about those dangers. So I just find it very contradictory in terms, you're saying about the FGM is really wrong and abusive, and then you're telling people that, gender is not assigned at birth, and being trans and having that operation is no big deal. So I just find it very contradictory in what they're teaching. What do you understand what I'm saying with that, Jason?
Yeah, I do.
Does it seem? But yeah, I agree. Like what you're saying there about the FGM is, they talk about being inclusivity, but that is part of people's cultures, isn't it? I find it quite disturbing personally.
Yeah. I mean, I often hear people, and this is controversial, but I often hear people speaking about in the Jewish religion, like circumcision for religious purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, how different is that to what we see in many African cultures with the FGM, who claim it's their culture, it's their religion, It's not a medical procedure. It's not done for medical reasons. It's but that seems to be a topic that is often shied away from, calling that male genital mutilation. But is it male genital mutilation? I don't know. I mean, there's a whole can of worms that people don't want to open sometimes.
Yeah, I don't even know the reason for these. Like, I haven't really looked into the reasons why they do it. But yeah, it's not a good thing, isn't it? You don't go messing around with.
I mean, my own personal belief is Mother Nature doesn't get it wrong.
Yeah.
You're born the way you are intended to be.
Yeah.
If you're born meant to be different, then you'll be born different.
Well,
that's my personal belief.
I totally agree, and it's almost like they're just messing. It's going on everywhere. We're messing so much with nature and the way that we are, like, girls, women have been told, about like having breast enlargements, bum implants. There's a whole, people just want to change the way they look all the time, and that in itself, like, I'm not saying, if people want to do that, that's fine. As adults, obviously, you would never allow a child to have surgery like that. But it's kind of like society is really going towards these things that is against nature. And whether you believe in God or a creator, we're really, as human beings, we're really going against anything that's natural.
Yeah.
Even, I can even sort of like mention, the things with the vaccines, have a vaccine because they don't trust in their own immune system to fight off viruses. Now, your immune system is natural. And when you start having to do things like inject things to change, to trigger, your immune system is triggered to fight. Oh, no, your immune system, you're meant to be doing things to strengthen it. And, the more natural we are, the better, surely. That's how I feel about it. And yeah, it's gone nuts. The whole, everything, like before, like plastic surgery was just something the elite people do. Now we're looking at, we're seeing, youngsters as young as like 18 having surgery on to change their face, to change their body. And you think, no, we should be accepting, we should be encouraging youngsters to accept the way they look and actually love who they are, not sort of like say, oh, well, if you've got a big nose, you can have it made smaller. No. Like, that's not going to help anyone's mental health. They should be mentally, they should be encouraged to actually love who they see in the mirror. And you're not going to do that when there's just all these things being thrown at you saying, oh, you can change the way you look. And, we could even say there is such a thing as gender dysphoria, just like there is body dysphoria. People look at themselves, body dysphoria, people look at themselves and think they're not attractive, they're overweight when they clearly are not. Body dysphoria. A lot of people get it with gender dysphoria as well. And this is a huge worry now, because where they're going to be talking about changing your gender and that gender's not assigned at birth in these lessons to children who are at a young age, if they do end up with a disorder like gender disorder, which is very common with a lot of children with autism, that's very common with those type of children, we're going to have a huge problem and a massive percentage increase in people who will have trans regret in the future. So,
the thing is, people are youngsters are impressionable, and they watch the movies, they watch pop videos, and they see like a real sort of polished example of what they aspire to be like. They see someone who's had liposuction and a tummy tuck and a boob job, and and then they think they've got to go out looking like that and aim to be like that. It's youngsters are impressionable, and they do try to. They feel like they've got to fit in and be like what they see on TV, on the movies and stuff.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly it, Jason. Because when I was younger, my idol was Kylie Minogue. You know, I just thought she was amazing. I wanted to look like her. I wanted to be like her. Fortunately, there wasn't this huge thing about plastic surgery back then, and she was a natural, beautiful woman. You know, I never did look like her, but that's by the by. You know,
well, one really bad example is the old. I don't watch this one, but Towie. You know, The Only Way Is Essex. God, there's nothing real about them people at all, is there? You know,
it's really bad.
It's just, oh.
And it's not just the girls; it's the boys as well, Jason.
Yeah,
the boys.
They got the old the orange Essex suntan globe. You know, straight out the sunbed shop. You know, it's man. But I've also heard you guys say about how teenagers are affected by the porn industry, you know, because they watch. I mean, let's face it, kids do watch and explore, and they jump. If you've got the internet, you can find anything, can't you? But when they watch that, you know, they think that everyone's got to be like that. You know, I don't want to go in detail, but you know what I mean. It's like it's not real, is it? You know, so that's an extreme example of what I was trying to say. People are impressionable at a young age, and they see things in movies, mainstream Hollywood movies, but porn films and music videos, and they just aim to emulate it and foul. And then that causes a mental health issue, you know, of not being happy with their body or their looks or their size or their weight or, you know, too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, you know.
Yeah. And now as well, idols are like non-binary now, aren't they? You know, we're getting we've got like the worst I've seen. I don't follow pop culture a lot. The worst I've seen is and the only reason I see it is because there was a lot of noise about him. Is it Lil Nash?
I've got no idea.
Oh, what's his name? Nil. I'm sure it's Lil, Lil, and then Nas. So he's devil worshipping in his videos. He's gay. He's showing very explicit moves with another man, and the other man is a devil, and it's awful. It is really, really shocking. And this man, if you want to call him a man, he looks quite young actually. He's got a big children following, and a lot of children look up to him. And there he is, being explicit in the way he's dressed. Very, you know, the video is absolutely disgusting. You know, it's very lycra tight clothes, and he's doing inappropriate stuff with a guy who's dressed as the devil. Why do we need our children looking up to these type of people? You know. It's not, and if I seen a chat, someone was talking about it on Facebook, how disgusting this video was, and someone had said that they were accused of being homophobic because they were against that guy. It's nothing to do with being homophobic. These people who were the children are looking up to, these people are, you know, they're sexualizing children. They're showing children things that they don't need to be shown.
Yeah. It's like I've got a teenage daughter, and she's, I mean, like all teenagers, they love YouTube. And sometimes I'll walk past and she'll be like on the laptop on YouTube watching makeup videos. But it's not a lady doing the makeup videos, it's a bloke. You know? And now I'm all about letting people do what they want, fair play, you know. But these guys, and they are guys, but they're not identifying as a woman. They're identifying as a man who wears makeup, the ones that she watches, you know. And every year they bring out a branded makeup kit, which is like twice the price of the kind of quality makeup that you or Adele might buy, you know, because it's got this person's name on the lid, you know, and they're a YouTube celebrity, you know. But it's like, when was it? What happened to make it so that it was popular for drag queens to be teaching our teenage girls how to do makeup? You know, it's just weird.
It is weird, Jason, because at the end of the day, like, a drag queen is an adult entertainer. Like we you know, like I've been to a drag act when in my,
the ones that I've seen, they're not kind of sexualizing it. So I wouldn't say it's that, But I just found it a little bit concerning that my daughter's watching guys teaching her how to put makeup on. I was like,
Yeah.
has the world gone crazy?
It has
You
gone
know?
crazy. And, you know, the type of makeup these
Well, I said to her,
guys.
hang on. I said to her, I said to her, hang on, you're watching a man teaching you makeup tips. Why are you doing that? She said, it's not a man. It's a cis man, or he's not a cis man. And I'm like, what the hell is a cis? You know, all these weird labels. You know, crazy.
Oh, it's nuts, Jason, and it is really worrying of what our
I was
children
like,
are being
she's like,
born
you don't
into.
understand, Dad. You don't understand. It's different nowadays. You know, you can be what you want. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like, okay, I identify as overprotective father. Stop that shit. But
it's
they don't
it's
listen, do they?
difficult to explain to our children now that, you know, we're not against people. It's just this, you know, like what you're saying about men teaching girls how to put makeup. Now, if a man has got to put makeup on, if you were to put makeup on, Jason, you'd have to wear a hell of a lot more than me in order to look like a woman because you're a man.
I
So you would,
agree. I agree.
yeah, you would, you know, and that's, you know, like with anyone, they need, you know, no, especially young girls, you know, they don't need any makeup at all, really. But they're not going to be getting a
Yeah,
nice.
a few years back, that was proven to be the case. Do you remember when all of the ladies on Facebook were doing no makeup selfie? Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah,
So all the women took all their makeup off and put a selfie on Facebook. And about a
yeah.
week or two later, it was for cancer awareness or something. And about a week or two later, all the men followed suit and they did a makeup selfie.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Well, I've got 3 daughters. You can guess what happened. It was like, Dad, you're doing a makeup selfie. And I was like, you know what?
Oh no.
Sod it, that's for fun. Yeah. So there was me, lipstick, blusher. I look like, oh, I don't know what I look like. And that
Oh,
photo was
Jason,
out
I
there.
want to
That
see
photo was
this.
out there. By the way. That photo was out there. And yeah, it took a hell of a lot of makeup to make me look less of a guy. Oh. One week I'll show you that photo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to see that, definitely. Do you think you
It's
passed as a
not, it's
woman?
not, hey?
Do you think you passed as a woman?
My mum wasn't very happy because
Oh.
all my friends on Facebook said, you look like your mum. And then
Oh,
when she saw the comment, and when she saw the comment, she's like, I don't bloody look like that.
well, there's
Yeah,
got to be some similarity, you know. She's your mum, so.
yeah. But the things we do with our kids, they for a laugh. But
Oh yeah,
it was,
absolutely. As long
yeah.
as it
But I
is just
wouldn't
for a
I
laugh.
don't make a habit of going on Facebook with wearing makeup. It was done because I've got 3 kids that wanted to have a laugh, you know. But maybe that makes me a hypocrite. I don't know.
Well.
You know what I mean? Oh.
Yeah, do you know what? I was watching a YouTube channel as well. I was watching a YouTube video when it was I flicked up on one of my, you know, when you get those alerts. So I don't know where it come from, and it was 2 men. They were interviewing who I thought was a woman, but it was actually a trans woman. Very,
Yeah.
I would say, I would never ever in a million years said that this person was born a male. She very much looked female. And the conversation was when she started her YouTube video channel, she didn't intend to be so famous, but she had a lot of subscribers and viewers without even trying. And they were interviewing her, were saying, well, we're actually rather jealous because we had to put so much effort and hours, and, you know, we had to put so much into growing ours, and it took so long. Whereas with her, and straight away, it's because people seem to get attracted to this, don't they?
Well, yeah.
A transgender woman who really does look like a woman as well. Like if you were to see her on the street, you would think that she was born a woman. They seem to it's just like the way of the world now. It is very much a fashionable thing. This is what worries me, see. It is becoming very fashionable. So people are going to be choosing different sexualities or different sexes because it's something that people are seeing as exciting, new, the thing to be. Like, I'll give an example. When I was 15, 16, it was very fashionable to have thin eyebrows, really thin eyebrows. And I decided to get really thin eyebrows. I plucked them. There was hardly anything there. And I looked awful because it didn't suit me. Thin eyebrows suit some people.
I bet you thought you looked amazing.
What's that?
I bet you thought you looked amazing, though.
I did think I looked amazing until one day I was looking at some photos and I was really done up because I was going out with my friends, and I looked at those photos and I thought, oh my God, I actually look a little bit like a drag queen. That's what I thought, because my eyebrows were so thin. So at that point, I grew them back. But it just goes to show, because with youngsters, they're very, very impressionable. And if something is exciting, if something's if something is in fashion and everybody's doing it, it's going to make people do it. Exactly the same with the straight hair fashion. I was there straightening my hair with these straighteners, and it's because I was impressionable. Everyone else was doing it, and it was the look to be, so that's what worries me about this transgender trend, that people are going to think, oh, it's fashionable, it's great. And just goes to show that that trans woman didn't even put any effort and wasn't even going to be a famous YouTuber, but overnight she was famous. So this is this is the worrying thing now. Now, back in my day, there was such thing as tomboys. We were all, if you wanted to climb trees, if you were a girl, you wanted to climb trees. I was one of those, I wasn't up for sort of wearing these pretty dresses and that. I just wanted to wear a pair of jeans and be one of the lads. I was well up for that. But my worry is now that this huge amount of girls that like doing boy things, I'll say boy things, it's not really boy things, isn't it? It's just what society classes boy things and girl things to be. But if there are girls out there that like this, that are like that, maybe they might think incorrectly that they should have been born a boy, just because there's so much out there now to make it look like that's the thing to do. So, that does worry me. That worries me greatly. I'm just checking. Am I still on? Because it's saying I'm not.
Yeah, you're still on. I think I found that. I think I found the photo to show you.
You found the what? Sorry.
That photo. Let me see if I can show it to you. Hang on. Be prepared for a laugh.
I've got. Oh, I think Adele was trying to talk to us here. She's been trying to get on, bless her. I know she just really couldn't. What's she saying here? Why are we cutting the genitals off any child? I think she was when we were talking about that. Yeah, that's very true, Adele. Adele's got like a lot to say, hasn't she? Oh, what have we got?
There you go.
Photo
that was my makeup selfie.
Oh my God! Wow. Wow,
no amount of makeup will make me look as feminine as you guys.
Thank you. I don't know. I thought you looked quite good in that photo, to be honest.
No, I'll make an ugly drag queen. Oh look, our photo's broken the internet. We've lost Lucia. She'll come back in a second. Hopefully we'll get Lucia back in a second, but just looking at the side chat here over on YouTube, and Babs has said Oh, thanks, Heather. Yeah, my poor mother. Yeah, she looked at that photo, and because everyone said you look like your mum, she was like, "No, no, I don't look that bad, surely." So Babs has said the teachers are telling tomboys that perhaps they should be a boy. Well, yeah, that's what's happening, isn't it? But then you've got boys that have gone to school wearing a skirt. That's like a protest, and it's been allowed. If I'd have turned up at school wearing a skirt when I was a kid, God, I'd have been rushed straight to headmaster's office, and my parents phoned, "Come and get your son." Get some trousers on the lad. But different nowadays, isn't it? What else have we got here? Heather Scammell. It's softening them up for drag queen story hour. Yeah, that drag queen story time. Mad. Absolutely mad. Complete with rainbow dildo butt monkey. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. We did, one of our guys, Jeremy, he does a show every Wednesday on Wake Up UK. He showed us this guy in the library, and he had a colourful, multicoloured rainbow monkey outfit, and he dildo strapped to him, and he's running around the fucking library. I mean, he got banned from the library or something. I don't know, but I don't know the whole story. But it's just weird, bloody weird. Why would anyone want to do that? That opens up a whole load of questions, doesn't it? And Lisa says, yes, I've caught my nieces. Yeah, I imagine you're talking about watching makeup selfies on YouTube. It seems like all the kids are now watching it. I think the one I remember is called Jeffree Star or something. Jeffree Star. Or there's another one called Charles or something. Yeah. So they're not even having a feminine name. It's like Jeffrey. And there he is, caked in makeup, saying, "This is how you do your eyebrows. This is how you do this dude's teaching my daughter makeup. What the what's going on?" So I swear, I'm trying to not swear. It's killing me. I can't get on. Won't allow my mic and camera. Yeah, sorry, Adele. Next week, use your laptop, and we'll it'll all work fine, and we'll have this all narrowed down and be more polished performance. I don't know whether Lucia's given up trying to get back on, but I know when she dropped out before, it's because her internet cut out. But she would have got back on by now, I would have thought. So we'll give it 5 minutes, and if not, we'll wrap up. So we'll look in the chat. There's nothing in the Wake Up UK website chat room, so look at the YouTube chat. Heather said, it's really difficult when we want parents' rights protected, but FGM runs counter to what I used to think was civilized. Yeah, totally. Heather, you said some really good things on it tonight. You should really try. I don't know whether you're one for joining live streams, but it's not as scary as it sounds. You should jump on with the ladies one week, and then have a chat. And if you camera shy like me, just turn your camera off. Forget anyone's watching, and just chat to Lucia and Kimberly and Adele. Within 5 minutes, you'll forget about the YouTube audience. Just give it a go 1 week. Just looking through these comments. Heather says some boys have it done for medical reasons. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand medical reasons. It can be. You're talking about circumcision there, and yeah, totally get that. It can be medical reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when it's purely for religious or cultural reasons, I don't agree with that. Not until that child's old enough or an adult to make the decision. But I think Mother Nature gets it right, and why mess with that? And you've said here, I don't think it stops them experiencing pleasure, and it is less invasive. Yeah, it is, but does that make it okay? I don't think it does. if my bits are going to be interfered with because of religion, I'd want to be able to make that choice myself, not have my parents just decide for me and go, right, that's what you're having. You know, no, no, it's not something that should be done just for religion, in my opinion. But each to their own. Nobby said, when we were kids, a good kick up the arse would stop you. Now it's religious. Now it's ridiculous. Parents today actually chop off their poor kids' parts to prevent chastity. Yeah. I don't know. Is that what FGM's about? Is it to prevent chastity? I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of why it's done. I've never looked into it in that much detail. But how mad is it if that is the reason? You know, if you can't educate your child in the correct way, and what is correct? I mean, there's different interpretations of what's correct, but if you can't raise your child in a healthy way that is good for the child, so instead you chop body parts off them, then immediately you're failing as a basically saying, I can't raise my child properly, so I'm going to commit FGM, because that'll fix my poor parenting, won't it? You know, no. How mad is that? It's mental. And Adela said there is no reason. Yep, totally agree. Now it looks like Lucia's struggling to get back on, or is not able to get back on, or has felt we've wrapped up, but I don't think she's going to get back on. So we've been going for an hour and 24 minutes, so I'm going to wrap things up. Apologise for the technical issues we had at the start. We are using this new streaming service called Restream, and Kimberly's away, and Kimberly's working on university work. Adele's on holiday, and her friends, and struggling with a new phone or something. So, hang on, I think we've got. Oh yeah, we've got Lucia back.
Sorry, I just had a very, very long delay with my.
I was just about to wrap up and you come back on. I was about to wrap things up. But,
what's that? Sorry.
Well, I was waffling away, and I thought maybe you couldn't get back on, so I was just winding things up, and then I heard the little beep, and you was back in. So.
I know my internet does this quite a lot, the Wi-Fi. So I'm really sorry that happened there, Jason, and thank you for.
I had quite a good little chat with your YouTube audience there. So.
Lovely. Apologies. I should have just stayed off.
Yeah, you spoiled my fun now.
Sorry, I apologise. As you were, Jason.
That's okay. No, I was just reading through the comments and stuff. One of the ones I just read out was, let me find it again, from Nobby Noble, and it says, when we were kids, a good kick up the arse would stop you. Now it's ridiculous. Parents today actually chop off their poor kids' parts to prevent chastity.
Yeah.
And I was just saying how disgusting it is that you've got to chop off your daughter's parts because you can't raise your daughter in a way that would be healthy and, you know, prevent them going wayward like that. Yeah. You know, if you've got that lack of faith in your parenting skills that you think FGM is going to fix and make up for your poor parenting, then is it about chastity? Is that what it is? Is it done to prevent enjoyment so that girls don't engage in sexual experiences at an early age? I don't quite know the details of what.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't know exactly. That could actually be a reason why. But I don't know. I don't really know the sort of full details of.
But if it is that, assuming it is that reason, or that's partly the reason, aren't you just having a lack of faith in your parenting skills to be able to educate your daughter in a way that she respects her body and doesn't, You know.
Well, yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
That's, you shouldn't be, like the thing as parents, you can only do your best, can't you? And you
Yeah.
instill good values. If you instill good values into your child from day, then you can't really go far wrong. Yeah, okay, they can give into peer pressure. We've all done silly things, and I remember getting grounded at the age of 12 because I had a bit too much to drink, as we thought we were all clever,
Well, we've all
going
done
in
that.
her
Yeah.
dad's cabinet while he was in work, and I got we all do silly things. Even though I had very good parents. I wasn't brilliant, but I did have respect for myself, and I did have respect for other people. So by doing extreme things like the FGM, just because they worry that their child might be somewhat promiscuous, that's just absolutely crazy. No, you just teach your child or your values, and trust in it. You've got to trust your own parenting, and trust that your child will make the right decision when the time
Yeah.
comes that they're all to make decisions. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching. I don't Noble. Who was that person? Noble. I don't know who you are. I probably do in real life, but I don't. I think you might be new to our
Nobby Noble.
Nobby. Thank you for watching.
That's
Thank
got to
you
be a
for everyone
YouTube
else
name.
for watching as well.
And I've also, while you was away, I commented on Heather adding some great comments tonight in the side chat, and I said if she's a person to join the live stream, she should consider jumping on 1 week with you, because it's not as scary as it might at first seem. You can go.
If I can do it, Heather, anyway.
You can turn the camera off like I do if you've got a face for radio, And I'm not, Heather, I'm not saying you've got a face for radio before I'd earn a slap, but we're not confident, I'm digging a bigger hole for myself here, aren't I? But we're not all confident with the camera on. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so if you're a monster and you don't like the camera aimed at your monster face, you can turn your camera on and still have a good chat. That's what I'm trying to say in the most horrible way that I'm.
I knew what you meant, Jason.
Yeah, but yeah, whenever you share the link in here, don't be shy. Jump on, have a chat, ask questions. If you think that Lucia or you think that Kimberly and Adele are wrong on something, or could do something different or better, or you want to add something to what they've said, you guys are happy to hear that, aren't you? You're happy to
absolutely, yeah.
Because as much as you ladies know your stuff, we all learn still, and
yeah, and it's only from talking and getting messages and updates from other people that's the only reason why we know exactly what is going on, because it's only first-hand experience really that can develop your knowledge, So yeah, we're always up for, if any parent or any educator wants to ever come on our show, then we're open for people to come on. And even if people disagree, come on and tell us why, because we need to know what people are really thinking, and the everyday person as well, not just the people who are in politics or who are in government. We want to know why people are in support of the RSC. So yeah, we're willing to debate, to chat with anybody, so yeah, feel free. I did notice Heather did comment a lot. Yeah, thank you, Heather. I think you have been on our show quite a few times as well, so thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And obviously we got Lisa Rogers, who was watching tonight as well. She's a regular, so yeah.
Heather just said definitely a face for radio. You know what?
Is that what she said?
Heather, drop some makeup tips. I'm an expert. You saw my photo.
Oh yeah, look at Jason. He looked fantastic in that.
There you go. Yeah. We'll soon have you looking stunning, Heather. Don't you worry.
I'm sure Heather is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we're all a little unkind to ourselves.
We're all beautiful in our own special way, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Some more than others. That's all. And some not so much first thing in the morning.
Oh God, yeah, you don't want to see me first thing in the morning, trust me. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I'm going to sign off now. I'm sure you are too, Jason.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and apologies for the internet connections, etc. Yeah, my internet seems to play up quite a bit when I'm live, unfortunately. But that's nothing
No
I can
worries.
do about it.
Okay, we'll catch up next week.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate your time as always.
Okay.
And thank you,
And you too.
everybody. Speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye,
Take
bye.
care now.